Welcome to the Eye on Annapolis Local Business Spotlight. There are thousands of locally owned businesses in the area, some small and some large. Some you may know and others you don't. But one thing they all have in common is a great story, and we want to share it with you. Join us every Saturday as we talk to the founders, the owners, and the managers of local businesses you have come to know and love, and those you will come to know and love. Now here's your host, John Frenay, with this week's Local Business Spotlight.
You know, we're back here at the Classic Theater of Maryland, and I didn't realize it because I saw a sign when I was walking in, but we're here with Sally Boyett, who is the founder and producing artistic director. You guys are celebrating 10 years.
Yes, we are.
That's crazy. Does it seem crazy to you?
No, it doesn't seem crazy to me. I think the time is, we've done a lot of shows in the past 10 years, and in one sense, 10 years, when you look back on it, it seems like it just happened in the blink of an eye. But if I look back on all the work that we've accomplished, it's a great body of work.
It certainly is. And I'll tell you, everyone should go to classictheatermaryland.org, and the theater is the reverse of the R-E on the end of that.
Theater.
See everything that they've got going on. And I love this venue. I love this organization because it's like 9 things in one, it seems. You've got produced plays, you've got the cabarets, you've got education, you've got pretty much everything that you could want when it comes to, we'll say theater, production, education, and everything else right here. But I really want to talk about December. And I do notice as we're sitting across from each other here in the cabaret room that you still have all your hair and you haven't pulled it all out yet.
That's right. I have not.
You have a busy December going on with 2 full-bore productions and a couple other things in there that are surprises as well. And I guess the big thing is that you've got the White Christmas and then A Christmas Carol.
Yes. We have our holiday rep, as we like to refer to it. It's both productions, Irving Berlin's glorious musical, White Christmas, running in rotating performances with Charles Dickens' classic, A Christmas Carol.
That's what I was going to ask you. I mean, I'm looking around and you have the main theater, and I'm like, how do you fit all of this in? And these shows pretty much run Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
They do. We're running 8 shows a week, plus we have student matinees. So there's a week that we have 10 shows in a week.
You guys are running yourself ragged.
Well, this is what it's like. I did Broadway professionally in national tours, and that was an 8-show-a-week schedule for years and years and years with 2 weeks off a year. So this is normal for me. I think what we're hoping with our holiday audiences is that we can fill the seats for these shows. And both of these shows are backed by popular demand. This is the 8th year that we're running our original A Christmas Carol. So that show's been backed by popular demand 8 times over. And White Christmas, we ran it last year, and it's backed by popular demand again this year.
You go with what the crowd wants.
That's right. And they told us last year that they loved it, and they love the combination. It's a great combination because it's a fantastic musical with everything that you want from a Broadway musical. You've got fantastic music. Irving Berlin wrote the score. You've got a funny script, and it's based on the 1954 classic movie, White Christmas, with Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye, and Rosemary Clooney and Vera Ellen, and then you've got the terrific dance numbers. And this year, I am also the choreographer. I'm directing and choreographing White Christmas.
Wait, we got to put another choreographer right down there on the...
That's right. And I've had such a good time. We have a fantastic cast. We have 10 New York performers down, and they're triple threats, dancer, singer, actors, and they are doing every single piece of tap choreography that I can throw at them. They can do it.
That's fantastic.
And it's amazing because Annapolis, and I would say, the D.C. metro region has not seen this level of tap dancing.
Well, I do want to talk about it a little bit later, but as far as speaking of levels of talent, you did a hell of a job last year.
Thank you.
And we're going to get into that in a little bit. But what's going on here in December? Okay, both of these productions are going to run through the 24th. Okay, so on the 25th you rest. And have turkey and
that's right. No, on the 25th I cook is what's happening at my house because I do have 4 children and they like my cooking. But Yes, we have a very busy month, and that's what we do here at the Classic Theater of Maryland. We are the only year-round professional theater company in Anne Arundel County. And we're dedicated to the classics, we're dedicated to work that has stood the test of time, from the Great American Musical to Shakespeare, and everything in between. But my roots as a professional Broadway performer
are all over the place.
Was in musical theater. I was classically trained, but I did musical theater professionally. So having the two shows in rep, A Christmas Carol is very Dickensian. It's very true to the original text, and it's adapted by myself and Donald Hicken. And as I mentioned, we've been running it for 8 seasons. And Dexter Hamlet has been our Scrooge for 7 of those 8 seasons. He was Marley the first year, and then he graduated to the Scrooge role, and he's been that's his role now. And it's fun because we have a lot of cast members in both productions. They play completely different roles. For instance, and all of our out-of-town actors are doing dual roles.
Well, that sounds like fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's a great contract for the actors who are coming in from New York, and it keeps everybody busy. And we rehearse the shows in rotating rehearsals, and it's just been nonstop work and nonstop getting the show ready. We open, now that both shows are up and running, and everybody's doing a great job. It's a lot of fun. We're also doing our monthly cabaret series, and we started with the decades. And I think I told you my raison d'etre for the decades is I love all the music from the 20s to the 1980s. And then we don't really do much after the 1980s, since no good music was written after the 1980s. But
and we can absolutely
agree on that. But so we did start in September with our 1920s cabaret. We had Broadway's Ian Knauer come down, and then we did the 1930s this past month, and now we're doing the 1940s. So it's called In the Mood. It's our 1940s cabaret. It's also a December cabaret, so there's a lot of 1940s Christmas music as well. It's a lot of fun. We have a live band. Our house band is the Unified Jazz Ensemble. They're a great group. And so we've got a 5-piece band for our cabarets.
Well, the cabarets are great because, I mean, they run 2 nights a week, and they're Mondays and Tuesdays. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, it's the perfect way to kick off a week.
It is. I think so, too. And so we've got a fantastic group of regional cabaret artists, and we've got our resident company of artists all have national tour and international experience. We're bringing in blues singers, we're bringing in Latin jazz standard singers, and we're bringing in our Broadway artists from Devin Hadsel from Some Like It Hot, Angie Schwar from Some Like It Hot, and Ian Knauer, who is in Anastasia on Broadway. So they come in and sing with us on occasion. And we've had Mark Campbell from The Lion King.
I also noticed in your calendar, and again, you can check out everything that they've got to offer at the Classic Theater of Maryland at classictheatermaryland.org. But on December 11th, you've got Ghosts of Dickens.
Yes.
What is that?
Well, we have a new play reading series, and this is being curated by one of our resident company members, Greg Jones Ellis. We have 4 pieces that are companion pieces to shows either inspired from shows in our season or spin-offs, maybe more modern adaptations of those.
Okay, and that's going to continue through the year?
Yes, we have 4 of them. So the first one was Roman Fever, and that was Greg's piece. And the second one coming up on the 11th is the Ghosts of Dickens. And this is a look at Dickens' own life and the people in Dickens' own life. And there are a lot of corollaries of inspiration with these characters as they correspond with characters in the novella, A Christmas Carol.
Right.
So I think it's really interesting. And the readings are directed and staged and lightly costumed. Enough for people to get the idea of what the play will be. But these are regional playwrights, and the playwrights are in attendance, and they're interested in feedback from the audience. So this is a great opportunity for audience members to see a brand new work before it's been produced, give feedback to the director in a post-show question and answer session, and then, hopefully one day see this production fully realized.
That's a really unique experience for an audience member.
Yeah, it's very valuable. And I think even, when you make theater and you make films, you go through a process of testing the story and testing the work on audiences to make sure that it works. I mean, that's why historically they used to do out-of-town tryouts in
Right.
Philadelphia or somewhere, New Haven, before they brought the show into New York. They were working out all the kinks. And you would have a number go in one day, come out the next. You'd have new pages inserted. You know, and they keep working the production and changing things until they feel that it's ready for a New York audience, and then they run it for 2 months before it's ready for the New York critics. And film is really no different. You know, they'll do test runs with test audiences.
Change titles and
they'll completely re-edit things
and
scenes. Yeah, just to make sure that the story's clear. And I think based on our first one, Roman Fever, I know because Greg Jones Ellis is the writer. He's the playwright of that piece. He's also the curator of the series that I mentioned, and he's been very. I think the feedback was very helpful to him because he was able to gauge the audience's response, gauge their reaction, to see if they really understood the story, to see if all the story points were clear. Because there was a twist in his story. You know, there was a bit of a mystery. You know, about how things happened. It was a look back into the past. And he wanted to make sure that all those story elements were really clear with the audience, because we weren't doing it with scene changes. It was for the most part, they were sitting reading.
It's right here, yeah.
Yeah, it was right there. Now, we did do a couple little pieces of choreography. I choreographed it for him just to make that part. We were doing a little storytelling. But it's very helpful. I think the feedback was very helpful, and I think the audience enjoyed it. And the readings are priced to be readings. You know, as I mentioned, we're paying everybody here. This is a fully professional operation, and so everybody who walks through the door to do something, to perform in our theater, or to be, you know, musician or crew or design, whatever their job, they're all being compensated.
Well, I know you're getting ready for and I can't even believe it's 2024 already, almost. But you've got a great season coming up. You open up with Jane Eyre and Gypsy, Crazy for You.
Yes.
You've got the complete works of William Shakespeare.
Abridged Part 2.
Right, and is that the one that's out on Reynolds Tavern?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Out on the patio, and then Midsummer's Night's Dream, which is going to be that's the one down in Edgewater.
Yes, at the Gresham
outdoors.
Estate. Yes,
Gresham. That's
yes.
the word I was looking for.
That is, and that's our new home there for the outdoor Shakespeare experience, and they're working on rehabilitating that property. So that's a long-term job that the county is working on.
It's a great place to see an outdoor production.
It is
a little bit hard to find. You might miss that driveway. I mean, I know you guys put the signs out and stuff when you do have a production, but if you hit the Selby Sub Shop, you just missed it by about 100 feet.
Right, where you can get your sub there and then come back, because we do have picnicking prior to the performance, and we also have a full bar outside under the pavilion. So that's a lot of fun. But yes, our season has actually already officially started with White Christmas and A Christmas Carol and our Cabaret series. So the season runs September through August.
Okay.
And so it follows a school year cycle, you could say. But we still have subscriptions available. So you can get a small package where you can see 6 of the cabarets. You can get a mini package for the cabaret. You can get a seasonal package. So for instance, you could get a winter package and see all the shows in the winter. Or if you go to Florida for the winter and come back, you can see all the spring shows. We have a little package for the spring shows. So it's not too late to join us as a subscriber. It's really the best way to support the work here at the Classic Theater of Maryland. And there are other ways to support us as well. But coming and seeing the work and experiencing the transformational acting that happens on our stage and the Broadway level dancing, it's beyond any experience that anybody is going to anticipate.
Well, everybody that I've spoken with that has come through a show here has left, and whether that's a cabaret show or a main theater production, which seems real weird to say it's a main theater production, but it's a larger theater. I mean, the cabaret is what, 70?
The cabaret is 75, and the main stage, we call it the main stage, is 125.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's not a huge venue, but it's a perfect venue because it's very flexible, it's very versatile to be able to adapt to everything. But I've talked to so many people that have come to either the cabaret or to a main production, and without exception, they're all blown away. Absolutely blown away. the level of talent. And again, that's what you're talking about, is that you've got the professional actors that are coming in, the professional musicians and the dancers to do it all.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but notice when I pulled into the parking lot that there's something sparkling over your over your door.
Yes.
And I think the last time we talked, you were fighting with the city on a sign out front, and we couldn't quite understand why Audi's allowed to have a sign that's the size of Montana, and the Classic
Theater Maryland was told they couldn't have a sign. Well, let's just say we now have a 43-foot marquee.
And it's on the building.
And it's on the building, and it lights up, and we can put everything up there that's happening for an entire month. And we have a lot of things going on because we're always doing 4 or 5 things a month, and without exception. And so it's great. I said I wasn't going to take no for an answer from the city, and eventually we got what we wanted.
There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Touched on it a little bit earlier, but last year you brought in Laura Osnes to shake things up. You presented a Broadway show at Maryland Hall, which was just phenomenal. The level of talent that she has. I spoke with her for a podcast, and I know she's got had a new album coming out at the time, and I think she was down in Nashville, I think,
yes,
at the time. Are you going to be doing these little surprises again for 24, or you don't know, or can you tell? Or
Well, Laura is a dear friend of mine, and we wanted to do something fun to celebrate 10 years as a company. And so Laura agreed to come and do a quick little review. That's what we did. Mm-hmm. I put a review together, and it featured Laura. And she is, in my opinion, in the past 20 years on Broadway, I think she's one of the brightest stars to come out of that scene. She's amazingly talented. She's a triple threat, and just a lovely person. She
really was. When I talked to her, I hung up the phone, and I was like, this woman is awesome.
Yeah.
You just knew that with it. And
she is, and she's doing Hallmark movies, and she was actually filming the week before she came to us. She was, and I think maybe when you spoke to her, she was in Canada filming a Christmas movie for Hallmark.
Oh, okay.
And then, because of course they had snow,
right,
and that they needed
right,
snow and cold weather, and then she came down to us, and she had just recently recorded a new album. She's just lovely, and she headlined the show for us, and I thought it was just really a fun experience. It was, yes. It
was a special thing. But I guess the best way to find out if you've got these things coming out is to sign up for your email list.
Yes.
And again, you go to classictheatermaryland.org. Zip all the way down to the bottom. It's real simple. Put your email address in, click submit, and off you go.
Yes.
And that will be coming to your inbox, as often as you do it. And
we do them once a week on average, and I would encourage people to come out and see the work, because we can talk about the quality of the work, the fact that it's world class. All of the design team, myself and many of my design colleagues have Broadway, national tour, and international tour experience.
Well, there is no question that that's the best way to experience it.
Oh, yes, it's to come see it.
You've got to come out and see it. This is right here in our backyard in Anne Arundel County. As Sally had mentioned, it's the only professional theater company, full-time year-round professional theater company here in the county. And the level of talent that I've seen the times that I've been here, and anybody who's been here, it just blows your mind away. This is Broadway in a much smaller, more intimate place, and it's an absolutely wonderful experience to come in. I do highly recommend it. Everybody do that. Before we go, I'm not going to let you off the hook on this one.
Okay.
The holidays in Annapolis are busy. Okay, they're busy for everybody. Mm-hmm. Busier for you because you've got 4 kids and and you've got
a theater company,
two productions to put on, and everything else here. Everybody's time is busy. If there is one classic theater production that we need to see, that if you need to tell me right now, okay, Sally, I only have time to come out here to see one production, what one's it going to be? I'm not asking for your favorite, but which one should I see that's going to blow my socks off?
I would say in general across the board that would blow people's socks off is White Christmas, because it has all the elements. It's a musical. And I would say the same thing if you were going to Broadway and you wanted to see one show, you had time for one Broadway show, and you wanted to invest in that one experience, I would suggest that you go see one of the top musicals. because the musicals have everything. They have the comedy, they have the story, they have the of course they have the show, but they also have the dancing and the singing and everything. And I think especially if you're bringing people together, or you're going on a date night, or you're celebrating with your family, I would say it's great to see the musical. However, because I can't like only one of my children best, as a mom of 4, I have to say I have 4 projects running this holiday season, and I would say that A Christmas Carol also has music, also has dancing, because I did all the choreography.
Sure.
It's a play, but it's very Dickensian, and it's very much in the world of Charles Dickens in 1850. And so we have Fezziwig's Ball, we have Fred's Dance Party, we have all these things that are very, very entertaining. And so you can't miss with either one of those productions. And if you love big band sound, 1940s tunes, you got to come see the 1940s Cabaret.
So you're automatically filling up my calendar here. So now we've gone from one day to 3.
Well, you can also look at your calendar and say, when can I possibly make it to the Classic Theater of Maryland? Because we pretty much have something running every day, multiple times a day. Yeah. So I think, just look at our schedule online, December 4th and 5th. Monday, Tuesday, we have the Cabaret, and we also have a great restaurant partnership with Blackwell Hitch. So you can order your dinner in advance, and they'll deliver it.
And they bring it up here.
And then we have a full bar. We always have a full bar with themed drinks before all of our performances and during intermission. Our drinks can go into the theater. We have these nifty little souvenir cups that say Classic Theater of Maryland, just like the Broadway shows. Mm-hmm. And we have, a small one and a large one, so you can get a beer and take it in. You can get a Pink Sally Cosmopolitan and take it in with you.
Who's that named after, by chance?
Pardon?
Who's the Pink Sally Cosmopolitan named after?
Well,
I'll
give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. But the Pink Sally Cosmo is a very popular drink. We also have hot apple cider, with or without the kick.
Awesome.
So you can get that with a little bourbon on this, in it.
Well, one thing that you didn't mention that you have plenty of is free parking too.
We do have plenty of free parking. This is a really nice location, and people who come out here comment on that as well, because it's really, you pull up in the parking lot, you park your car, you walk in. No muss, no fuss.
No. You're absolutely right. Now, this is located directly across the street from Audi on West Street, and I don't know what the exact address is.
It's 1804 West Street.
1804. So if you're coming down West Street, I suggest going down Admiral Drive and then grabbing that first driveway in.
Yes, left on Admiral. If you're going inbound, take a left on Admiral, and then it's an
immediate left into the parking lot.
Left into the parking lot, yes.
And if you're coming, outbound, you can go past it, and there's a cut in to do it. But plenty of free parking. Which is a rarity anymore.
Yes, it's really nice. So we have parking, we have the lobby bar, we have drinks for the kids, we have concessions for the kids, and we have, it's really nicely decorated, so you can do photos if you like.
I'm looking around and everything else, but tickets and everything else are available at classictheatermaryland.org. I've included you on my list of 38 or 39 things to buy. I mean, a gift of the arts is a wonderful gift for anybody. And Classic Theater of Maryland would be an awesome gift to find under I guess they do Hanukkah bushes and Christmas trees, I guess it is, whichever one you want to do, I'm not sure. But whatever you're giving gifts, I mean, consider giving a gift to the arts, because it makes us all smarter, makes us all a little bit better by seeing them. And you don't get a chance to see professional actors in Annapolis that frequently. Unless you're coming to the Classic Theater of Maryland.
And we're bringing Broadway to you.
There you go.
So,
without the huge Broadway ticket prices, and
that's
without
right.
the taxis to get there, and
you don't have to spend money on transportation to get there, and the hotel and all of that, and you can, have a nice meal before you come to the theater or when you leave the theater, and come and celebrate the holidays with us. And after the holidays, of course, we do have Jane Eyre and Gypsy the musical, Crazy for You the musical. Looking ahead to Crazy for You and Gypsy and Jane Eyre, we just have such a variety of shows coming in, but we're very excited about each one of them. And then we have the Complete Works Abridged, as you mentioned, and that's at Reynolds Tavern in the outdoor courtyard.
Right.
And we've been there for 11 seasons. So this is
that's fun.
10 seasons, but this is the 11th summer. And then we go outside to the Gresham for a Midsummer Night's Dream.
And I'll tell you, get down to Reynolds Tavern, and that's also a very fun evening as well.
Yes.
Out on the patio there.
And of course, come and see our, if you missed the 40s Cabaret, or even if you see the 40s Cabaret in December, we've got the 1950s in January, and the 60s, 70s, we've got a Latin Standards Cabaret. We've got all different sorts of music taking us through the entire season.
And then we stop at the 80s because there was nothing good beyond the 80s.
No good music was written after the 1980s. Let's not forget that.
Fantastic. ClassicTheatreMaryland.org is where you want to go to get your tickets. You want to come out and catch one of these productions. I probably will be here for, I'm going to guess 3 of them, because I've been to the cabarets and they're amazing. I've been to the productions and they're amazing. And it's a great way to help celebrate the season, no matter what you're celebrating, at the Classic Theater of Maryland. And Sally, again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, John.
Let you get back in there yelling at these guys and getting them all in shape for their.
That's right. We're just doing a little brush up today.
There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this week's Local Business Spotlight. Please make sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net for all your local news, events, and opinion. And in case you haven't already, please subscribe to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, where we bring you all the day's local news direct to your phone, tablet, or computer in about 10 minutes. It comes to you at 6 a.m. every Monday through Friday, and you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.